Hello my planner pals and welcome back, and if you're new here then thank you for joining me and giving me a try. My name is Di, I am here at Creative Karma Design. Today I am just sharing with you my project life. This is for week 3 and 4 of 2024, and as you can see I am using the big happy planner. I do have a playlist of my project life. I will kind of link it in the cards or wherever, but the idea here is a quick synopsis is that I am using a big happy planner and I'm just putting in plain white cardstock that I've just punched, and all I'm doing is like a grid system. I do kind of put my photos in a Canva document to print them out, and I do have a video coming on that soon because a couple of you asked about that. But yes, there will be a tutorial coming soon. I've just filmed it. I will be editing it and getting it up. So yes, that will be coming soon. So as you can see here, I've got all my photos. I did print some extras because I wanted them for my one little word project to put in for the end of the month. So I have just done these photos in Canva on a little grid, and I'm just cutting them out. So yeah, that is the basics of my project life. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. And what I'm doing for my project life, and I don't know if this will be every week, but I'm doing 2 weeks to a spread. So each page gets its own week. That is how it's kind of working out right now. And I did consider kind of splitting these up because I had a lot of stuff for week 3 and 4 and lots of photos that I wanted to include. So I did consider kind of splitting them up, but in the end I just went with doing the 2 weeks on the spread. And it worked out. It just meant that I have a lot of journaling on the journaling cards. And I think that's what I sometimes get a little bit caught up with the project life is I want to tell the whole story, and the whole story should be told on its own scrapbook page. This is just for, I want to call it like the highlight reel of the week. Like what were the standout stories? But I don't have to tell the whole story. I'm just telling a little bit of that story. So as you can see here, I've got some other stuff that I printed out. And again, I've kind of thought about this ahead of time, and you'll see some of these things come into the week. And I've also printed out the weeks 5 and 6 for my next project life session. And I don't have to use the background that's on there. I just figured, you know, I've used that last week. I'm just going to continue. And that's one thing that I will say. I used a similar color palette to weeks 1 and 2. I wish I'd have gone a little bit different with the color palette. So yeah, I think that will be changing in weeks 5 and 6. I'm going to try and get out of this, I don't know, habit, routine. So I've also done some little strips, some word strips. I've done some little circles, and you'll see me cut those out. But the circles I'm doing with a circle punch. This is 1.5 inch circle punch. So yeah. And again, just printed them out, punched them out. I could have done this with my Cricut, and I thought about this afterwards, but I'm like, it would have been so much easier with my Cricut. But I think there's something about this project, and I mentioned this in my previous video, that I am loving just cutting things out and having it be lumpy. I'm going to call it lumpy. And you'll see this week is very lumpy because I've got a little addition that I want to put into these pages. And this is, again, what's been missing in my life is this dimensional aspect to my pages. So I got out one of these little envelopes like to go in the folder at the beginning of the planner. And it just holds stuff that I want to use in the project, or I could use in the project at some point. So that was a nice little addition that I put in because I could just put little things in as a little holding space rather than them get lost in my room. I think it is a tool. It's like a half letter tool little envelope. I don't need a big one. And this is what I was thinking. I was like, oh, I should go and get a big one because I've got a big planner. And I'm like, I don't need a big one. I don't need a big envelope to go in here. What I need is something small because I'm only using small elements. So I'm like, there's no need to go buy a new one. You don't need a new one. So I'm just gonna lay the little journaling cards out. I'm gonna lay the photos out, figure out what order I want things in. And I do change this up again, you know, we're not stuck. This is all part of the process. What's going to go where? And even then, like some things that are on week 3 are actually for week 4. That's okay. I know that they were roughly around that time. So I'm just kind of trying to decide, and this is where I kind of realized that I have a lot of journaling to fit on these like 6 little journaling cards, because I've got the whole stories of these photos. So that pink card, I actually, in Canva, put on, I can't remember, it was a good stuff or something, and I forgot to put it on the journaling card when I printed it. Either I deleted it by accident or something, but it should have said good stuff, and it doesn't. So I actually have to end up writing that on. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want my embellishments, where I want little micro stories to go with the photos. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to decide where things go and how I can balance the colors. So I'm just playing with the little like arrows, the little journaling cards, the little white strips that I printed out. So this is where I'm trying to figure out, where are my colors going to go? What am I doing here? And then at one point I did kind of go, well, does it really matter? And it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's just that my brain has to like the balance of the spread. My brain has to like the balance of the spread. So yeah, but you know, you do you. You do you. You do what works for you. So again, it's all about the journaling. Which ones are going to be a full story? Which ones are going to be a little micro story? Which are going to be a journaling card? Where do you want to journal on a photo? So I take this photo of Cosmo's teeth. We found, I think it was 4 teeth in one day. And I thought, you know, it'd be nice if I could actually put them in a little envelope or something and have them on top of that photo. So my idea here was that I was going to use a little vellum envelope. So I'm like, okay, maybe let's do that. Let's do a little vellum envelope. I kind of, again, you know, I'm just kind of trying to decide, what do I want? What do I want? And then as I'm like looking at it, I'm like, you know, I'm not going to see the teeth underneath it. So I quickly kind of decided that that's not going to work. So I went and I got a little tiny plastic bag. A little tiny plastic bag, and that was his teeth. I put the teeth in a little plastic bag, and then I just stapled the bag shut and stapled it onto the card. I do end up kind of cutting the little bit off, like the baggy closure, just because it was a little bit bulky behind it, but yeah. And then that's when Cosmo decided he was going to join in and have a look at his teeth. But then I'm just, again, kind of rearranging things, starting to journal on the cards. And this is what I will do. I will just kind of decide how do I want this to look. And in case you're curious, this is the, not the Fidena Suke, I can't remember what that pen is called, but I will leave a link to it in the description. But it's a very, like a very, very calligraphy pen. Like if you want a true calligraphy pen, it is a brush pen, not a felt brush pen. It is a brush, like their hair brush pen. So yeah, but it's the one that Ali Edwards uses, and I'm trying to kind of get used to it and embrace the messiness of it. So to adhere that puppy picture with the teeth in it, and the teeth, I decide that I'm going to use that red line tape. And this is where I realized that the closure is going to be too thick. So I just take it off and pop it down. So then I have his teeth in my project life. So this is where I decide that I'm going to put the header, because all the other little journaling cards have headers. So this one needs a header. So I write good stuff, and then I don't like, I do not like that at all. So I practice again. And again, and again, and again. And then eventually I'm just like, you know, it's good enough. It's good enough. And this is the thing with that pen. It's very messy. So you have to embrace the imperfection, which is hard for me as a recovering perfectionist. But I knew that that one needed a thick header to go with the others that have a thick header. So it just looked odd otherwise. So I'm just adding the embellishments and adhering down the photo of Cosmo sleeping, and that is him after our first obedience class together. He and I were both exhausted after that session. I think, yeah, it just, even we went on Saturday, and yeah, it's exhausting. It's exhausting standing outside, being, quote, on your best behavior for for a full hour, and yeah, trying to get him to listen at 5.5 months old in a very, very busy park where there's soccer games and stuff is hard. So this is the book that I have just finished. So this is Midlife Clarity. It was meh. I would not recommend it. Would not recommend it. But again, these little things have to go in Project Life. That's what it's about. It's about all the little stories, right? This was, again, I think I included a photo similar to this last Project Life, but this is basically me and my planner tote, but I am starting to use Notion as my business planner. I'm not sure that it will be something that I keep, but I'm giving it a try. I'm giving it a try and setting up Notion. So this photo of me on the left-hand side is our bathroom remodel. It has been in a state of remodel for a very, very long time, but we actually have drywall up now. We actually have drywall up, so that is a big yay. So that deserved a little piece of Project Life. And I think this was when my adhesive ran out. I had to get a new adhesive. But yes, that is a definite win for week 3. Now, as you'll see, this is a big picture of some washi. I got some washi tape from the washi tape shop, and you'll see videos coming up soon with those. But yes, they reached out to me to do a collab, and so we have a bunch of washi in the room right now, which I will be creating with, and I'm very excited to do that. So that was definitely good stuff. And so yeah, I think I actually just posted one of those yesterday, so maybe that's already up. But yeah, that was a definite win of January so far. But yes, that was fantastic. And the funny thing is, I think they actually reached out to Rini as well, so we both got a box of washi, and there's some that we have that the other one didn't get, so we're doing a washi swap with each other too. So this is a photo of the dogs with carrots, and they are loving eating carrots right now that they've got onto full carrots, now that Cosmo's got his big teeth in. And the funny thing is that Stella never really enjoyed carrots until we got Cosmo, and now she's like, oh, well, now they're the best thing ever. Now they're the best thing ever. On this card for stories and feelings, yes, we had a bit of a week with Cosmo losing 4 teeth, but he also got his first boy dog lipstick. I'm gonna make this PG. His boy dog lipstick, and I think it shocked him more than it shocked anybody else because he tried to bite it off. So that was interesting. But yeah, boy is growing up. The boy is growing up fast, I tell you, growing up fast. So that is that. And then for week 3 here, I think I just put the highlights of the week. But yeah, again, it's just one of those things with this project. I've missed these stories. And this makes me wonder about, like, not starting scrapbooking fully again, but having somewhere to tell these stories is what I was after. And that's what this project has really done for me, is given me that opportunity to take it out of like a planners and stickers and journal and actually add photos and get back into the memories and those little stories, especially because I've got a bad memory anyway. But yeah, I am just loving this project, loving it. So then we start on to week 4 on the right hand side, and you can see here, I'm just trying to decide where things are going to go. There's a photo of Bob here. He's actually in the same bathroom that we've, got drywall on now. But yes, I needed a picture of Bob, and that was one of the only ones that I had from this week. So definitely adding that down into my project life. got a picture of me and Stella. I am feeling a little, I'm trying to make sure that we have time together, Stella and I, because I think she sometimes feels a little bit left out. So I'm trying to be a bit more conscious of that. So you can see here on this little vision journaling card, I am writing something about Bob, hopefully, if we can make it work, coming into an early retirement. So if we can make that work, and we're still, doing the figures, we have accountants to see, there's a lot of moving parts to that, but if we can make it happen, it would be fantastic. Fantastic. But that is the plan. And again, we are in a different position in the fact that we've worked hard to get where we are, but also we don't have kids. So we've got no, quote, legacy or whatever to leave. So everything that we have is, the plan is that we use the money, right? Because otherwise it's just going to go to the government or leftover family. So yeah, our plan is to use the money and just live our life now. So yeah, we're going to see. It might happen, it might not. So I've listed here the 2 photos of the Cricut stuff that I've been making, which is the dragons, and I actually I did the full and the new moon stickers, and I said to Rini that I need to use my Cricut every day or every other day, and that was the last time I used it, which was over a week ago, so that didn't work out either. But the Hey Creator journaling card is like a course, like an online workshop webinar type thing from last week, and there were like 4 or 5 lectures a day. So I just attended those, like listened to them at nighttime mostly, and I got a couple of little nuggets out of it, so it was worth it. So that is something that I did, which, kind of checks off one of my goals for the year, which is to do some kind of continuing education. So that is one of the checkoffs for that. And then for week 4, I am just writing in all of the kind of highlights from the week. I will say one of my biggest issues is I tend to just write, and then realize afterwards that I've got spelling errors, that my brain has got ahead of my fingers and I've missed words out. But at least the stories are down. The stories are down on paper, and that is the freaking goal. So again, you can see that this was a busy time, a busy couple of weeks because of all the journaling. And I debated as to whether I was going to go and get like any embellishments, but I'm like, no, what I need is to call this done. What I need is to call this done. But it feels very mashy from the previous week. And here I'm just putting all that stuff back in the little envelope. I think I actually cut some of the things up, but I'm putting them all, I cut them up, but I'm putting it all back in the envelope and then just calling it good. I don't need anything more than the stories that I have here. And that's what it's about. It's about the stories. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm hoping next time to get out of this color palette and do something different, but I don't think it gets more different than putting teeth in your planner. Putting puppy teeth in your planner. I mean, you couldn't really do that normally because you'd need to write on the other side, but I don't need to. Because I can write off the page and then stick it on. So yeah, that is my project life. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, then give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you next time, my planner pals. Bye.